Chads have always had their place in society. Wait, hold on. In case my Nana's watching, I'm going to explain what a Chad is to her. Hey Nana, I love you. A Chad is a phrase describing a stereotypical young urban white male, typically single and in his 20s. This phrase usually is used to denote stereotypical Chad behavior, which is usually derogatory. Chads have always had their place in society, like since the dawn of time. Like, you think cavemen didn't have Chads? They 100% did. There was definitely a dude named Grug out there. He had the best cave paintings, and he always somehow got the biggest mammoth steaks. Fast forward a few centuries, we've got gladiator Chads, Renaissance Chads, disco Chads, and Chad Kruger. And now we have video game Chads. You know, when I play video games,
Ew.
Personally, I like to feel a little bit cooler than I am on the inside. I can't realistically go out and buy a Bugatti. I can't blast a hole into the surface of Mars. And I sure as hell can't keep up with studying. Let's be a YouTuber. However, in the wonderful world of video games, dang it, Bobby, we can. Personally, I like to think of being a Chad as a great thing. I want to win at life. I want my wife to be happy. And I want to be fit. Can't really do much about that right now, but that's okay. And today, we're going to go over some overlooked Chad games. Ones that you probably didn't expect to be on this list. Games that allow you to be your best version of yourself. And releasing your inner Chad. Persona 4 is undoubtedly my favorite video game ever made, bro. And look, we can add any of the S&T series to this list, but hear me out. I've been playing these games for years. Like, I've played them all, baby. But Persona 4 hits home in a sense that it's more like really jumping out of your comfort zone. The series didn't really experiment with the life sim stuff until Persona 3. But I feel like the real being a Chad experience happens mostly in Persona 4. When Atlus gamified life and enabled you to get better at doing mundane shit and made it the most fun part of the game, that's where the phenomenon became what it is today. It's a spin-off. Dude, shut up, nerd. Oh my god. No one cares. It's a spinoff. It doesn't matter anymore. It's its own thing. But yeah, I really feel like the Chad mechanics really peaked at Persona 4. Persona 4 has you move from the big city over this little honky-tonk podunk town in literally one of the most boring settings you could ever imagine in a video game. Yet, little do you know, you are going to have the best year of your goddamn life in this little slice of life game. Persona 4 really nailed what growing up is like. Getting better at the hardest things, like working on yourself and fighting your literal inner demons in the face. You know, just the kind of shit that I'm in therapy for. And just being better in actual life. And also making lasting connections with the people that matter the most to you, so you can have a bunch of different spin-offs and keep hanging out with your friends. Yeah, Persona 4 is a really cool game. It's my absolute favorite. Now, however, if you're thinking, but it's turn-based. I don't like turn-based games. Hey, that's okay. I get it. The game has an amazing adaptation that you can watch anytime, and it's really good. And then you can play the fighting game afterwards. So you got nothing to lose. You can put in all of the Yakuza games in this list. The one I really want to focus on is Yakuza 6. Look. I get it if you don't like this game. You know, some of the best characters just vanish. And it doesn't really make sense. But Yakuza 6 is Kiryu's swan song. At least narratively. It's the end of his journey as the central protagonist. It closes out nearly 2 decades of storytelling with a focused, deep personal story that centers around what Kiryu values most. Family, legacy, and protecting the next generation. Just being a total Chad. In Yakuza 6, the stakes are personal, not political. Where previous games have you deal with the massive Tojo clan power struggles, 6 focuses on his daughter. He's trying to escape the cycle of violence, just sacrificing everything in between. Being a Chad. Kiryu's older, wiser, and he's a lot more tragic. He's just not the dragon of Dojima anymore. He's an aging warrior trying to walk away from the only world he's ever known. He embodies this honorable Chad, calm, emotionally intelligent, but still capable of knocking out a gang of punks. Okay, you get it. He's a Chad. The God of War reboot, I'm not a dad, but I think it's the best. Sorry, my dog. God of War, I'm not a dad, but this game I'm gonna go ahead and give it the best dad simulator. I have no idea what it's like being a dad, but I'm gonna assume that God of War is the closest we're gonna get. The whole narrative around showing Kratos being like this to being like this is just a total Chad thing to do. This game is about a man learning to be vulnerable without losing his power. It's heavy, it's quiet, it's got rage moments, sure, but it's also got soft dad moments that hit harder than any axe swing. Every time he says, "Bore," I swear I hear my inner child heal. You don't play God of War to dominate, you play it to reflect. You feel Kratos is holding back everything he's been, not because he's scared, but because he's trying to be better. That is some real Chad shit. Oh dude, every Kirby game, every single Kirby game. I don't think anyone's gonna argue with me on this one. Kirby is one of the ultimate Chads. He's like the silent assassin of Chad culture. He also looks like a Squishmallow, but he's also a god-slaying, universe-devouring apex predator. Kirby doesn't need to talk, he just inhales his problems until they become his powers. It's a metaphor for therapy, probably. I was gonna say Mario, but Mario kind of, you know, is okay.
Mamma mia!
And I don't really think that's a Chad thing to do. I would put Luigi more into the Chad category. I think Luigi is a better example of what a Chad should be. I definitely think Wario is a way better example. Wario is way cooler than Mario in every aspect. The man just wants to get paid. Wario lives by his own rules. He doesn't take shit from anybody. I love Wario. And the older I get, the more I think Wario is just the best. Okay, I know this list was supposed to be like lesser known games. I kind of lost the plot. I'm still learning how to make YouTube videos. Okay, fine. I'll talk about Doom. Not that it's a bad thing. Not that I don't want to talk about Doom. I mean, I brought it up earlier in the video. But Doom has had an amazing past 10 years of a revival, bringing back the don't hide the type shit gameplay we haven't seen since the boomer shooter era that it helped define. I think Doom worked as a horror game in Doom 3, but we have so many of those at home. I think it works a lot better as a hell yeah kind of game. We got the Chad game on Steam. We got the Dark Souls games. We've got Uncharted. I think the best Zelda game example for being a Chad is the Wind Waker. He sets off to find his little sister, and he has to earn the Triforce of Courage. He earns the Triforce of Courage by being courageous. Not because he was born into the destiny, but because he chose to show up. Also, Toon Link's facial expressions, that's like half the charm of the game. He's just the best, dude. And then at the end, he stabs Ganon in the head. That is so fucking sick, dude. Going back to Dark Souls, you know, you suffer, but you grow. Dark Souls is a lot like doing leg day. I want to say every Tony Hawk game, peak millennial Chad vibes. Just no story, just you and your skateboard. And the existential dread you get to grind away. But yeah, being a Chad, it's not being loud or shredded or driving a muscle car. Sometimes it's protecting your family. Sometimes it's learning to walk and talk to your kid. Sometimes it's wearing pink and inhaling planets. And sometimes it's just you trying to pass your exams in the fictional town with your best friends. And thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you. I'm trying to recover my arm. I'm trying to make YouTube videos the best I can. Hope you enjoyed this one. I had a lot of fun making it. You can find me over here at these links. I hope to see you there. I also stream live on Twitch as The Advice Alien. And over there we have a lot of fun. Call your friends and family. Tell them that you love them, that you appreciate them. Hope you have a great weekend. Hope you have a great week. And take care. Later.